We're a transitioning family back from a European vacation. Two moms, one straight son, and a zero desire to hide who we are. And yes, we packed 3 giant suitcases for reasons we still can't explain, but we're going to share our travel tips with you anyway.
So first off, when you're traveling to the UK, you need to fill out, and this is fairly new, you have to fill out an ETA form, which can be done fairly easily on an app.
You definitely don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
And then once you get into London, you got to figure out how to go from from the airport to your hotel. Now we're going to talk in a separate video on hotels and transit tips, but for now, let's just say it was a good hour away from the airport.
From the airport, we stayed in a little part. Well, I guess little. It was in southeast London, pretty close to the Tower Bridge, just off of Bermondsey, which is in the borough of Suffolk. It's about an hour, and there's no direct highway to get from the airport to our area.
So now we originally pre-booked an Uber because we were worried that we'd get there. We were getting there about 8 o'clock at night. We wanted to make sure we get one. In hindsight, I think that was not needed. I think we would have gotten an Uber in plenty of time. And I think we actually ended up paying more for it. And in the end, it was quite expensive. I think it was about £100 if I remember correctly. And with the conversion, if you're Canadian, that's a lot. So I'm not sure we would have done it again, especially if we could have packed a little lighter.
So the first thing to keep in mind is that we're traveling in February, the end of February, and we were expecting the weather to be cold and a little damp, like London weather normally is. But it was actually not too bad in the first couple of days. So right off the bat, we decided to walk across the London Bridge and check that out, and then head over to the London Tower.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this, probably more than I thought we would, and maybe it's expectations. But we arrived as soon as it opened, and we went straight to the building that had the crown jewels, which I had read a lot that it can get super busy. And it was great. It was barely busy at all. We got right in, fairly little crowds, and you're not allowed to take any pictures in there, so I won't be able to share any of those. Right. But it was very neat.
Yeah, the crowds were light, and we got there early enough, like you mentioned, but about 2 hours in, or about an hour and a bit in, all the school groups started showing up around that time, and it got a little busy.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going early if you can. Okay. So there are a lot of different buildings, from residents of past monarchies, the White Tower, which is the original structure that had like the old armor. But I think what was the coolest was just the history behind all of it. We learned a lot of information. One thing we might have done differently is the Yeoman tour. It's really cool. It's a free tour with your purchase of just getting in, and it gives you kind of an overview of the whole place. We did it kind of at the end, and then realized we had missed some things maybe we would have wanted to do. So I think it might be a good thing to do, if not right after you go see the crown jewels, then even maybe before it.
So from the London Tower, we took the tube to St. James Park and walked up to Buckingham Palace and just wanted to check around the outside of it. And it was absolutely insane how many people were there.
Yeah, we don't know if that's normal.
Yes.
We do know that the king, we believe the king was present based on the Union Jack being flown. But it was
packed.
It was crazy.
People. Yeah. And then we decided to start doing a little bit of walking tour around the area. We walked to the outside of Westminster Abbey, saw Big Ben, the Parliament House.
And that was really neat and beautiful buildings, but I do wish we might have spent the time to go into Westminster Abbey. I often find the inside of those old churches just beautiful and something I really enjoy seeing. Yeah. But we were only spending 2.25 days in London, and we just had to cut some stuff out.
So then we stopped for lunch at a place called St. Stephen's Tavern, which was a cute little place. And while in London, we figured we might as well stop for some fish and chips. So that's what we got for lunch. Then we crossed the Thames on the Westminster Bridge to the London Eye.
Yeah, and the London Eye was okay. It was a little expensive. I mean, there were some beautiful views. Definitely wouldn't do it again, and I don't think it's a must-do. I think it's something you could leave out, but it was still an enjoyable part of our trip.
For somebody who likes city skylines and stuff like that, it was kind of neat to see the buildings and all that, but it was just a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing.
So for the evening, we decided to take an Uber to the West End, and we had dinner at Harry's Victoria, which was pretty good. And then we walked over to Victoria Palace Theatre and got to watch Hamilton, which to me was definitely the highlight of London and maybe even our trip.
So that was day one after being a little bit of jet lag. But day 2 started out, we decided to do a tour outside of London. The business, the company that we went with was the English Bus Tours. And it was a small group tour to Stonehenge, Bath, and a little secret location.
It was pretty good. Like the driver slash guide, he was friendly and funny. The bus was clean, well maintained.
We learned a lot of little interesting facts along the way. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're thinking of doing it, just there is no actual bathroom on the bus, but they made lots of stops, so it wasn't an issue. But it was a good 2-hour drive to get to our first location.
First stop was Stonehenge, and you'll see from the photo that it was a beautiful sunny day, though it was breezy and a little bit chilly. But it was great to see the construction, a lot of the history, how they put everything together. There was a great story there, but in all honesty, it really was just a bunch of rocks sticking out of the ground, which again makes for some great photos. But that's all it was.
And then from there, we headed off to Bath. And it was a beautiful, vibrant city. There was actually a rugby match going on at the time, which was kind of cool. But we were really left to our own to tour the city. And I guess just both at Stonehenge and here in Bath, we were a little surprised by that. We don't have a lot of experiences with tours, but some of the other ones we did when we traveled through Italy 3 years ago, we felt that there was just a bit more guidance in the cities, going into different places, explaining me. I think we got a 15-20-minute tour.
Minutes,
yeah, so it felt a little bit more like transportation than it did a tour. We did go into the Roman baths, which were neat. I kind of do wish we had gone inside Abbey Bath. That might have been nice. But all in all, we enjoyed the city quite a bit. And actually, we did learn one thing we learned kind of on the drive there was that Bath was an inspiration to Bridgerton, one of my favorite shows. And some of the filming was done there too. So that was kind of cool. So the next and final stop was a secret location, and we won't give away where that is and ruin the surprise for anyone else who might go on the tour, but we can say that we really did enjoy it. It was actually Colin's favorite location of the whole day. And one neat little fact is there were a couple locations around this town that Harry Potter scenes were filmed in, so that was kind of cool. And not that we're big J.K. Rowling fans, but it was...
For obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. But it was still really neat to see these locations.
Yeah. So that really wraps up our second day. And on the third day, we didn't really have a full day planned out, so we decided to walk around the neighborhood and just see, what the local vibe is like. We were going to head to Borough Market and give that a good walk through as well, but we didn't have enough time for that. So we didn't manage to hit a nice little gift shop on the way home to get ourselves a couple little things. But yeah, that was really it. And then we had to take our suitcases from the hotel to the nearest tube station, which was a good 15-minute walk down the city streets of London, which was an adventure all on its own.
So as a trans woman, how safe did you feel while we were in London?
Of all the places that we traveled, I would say this was probably, I felt the least safe in. Yeah.
And do you think that's because of the laws or the actual people we encountered?
And that's a really good point, because I was very hyper aware maybe going into it, so maybe I was looking for more things, but I definitely got a lot more longer stares and a little more questioning eyes than some of the other locations. Not that I was ever misgendered or that we ever had any problems with washrooms or anything like that, but it just felt a little off in a few situations.
Keep an eye out for our next video, which is going to be the 3 things Brooke and I would have done differently in London.